How you doing? This is John and welcome to John's Long Box. Today we're taking out one of my big guns. I didn't realize this was a big gun until I just recently saw the price on this on a website. This is Invincible Iron Man number 55, 20 cents. Why is this a big deal? Because it's the first appearance of not only Drax the Destroyer, but Thanos. Okay, look at this beautiful cover. This is by Jim Starlin and Joe Sinnott. Jim Starlin, I already talked about. He's up there in the pantheon of Marvel greats. I'd say, like, as far as output and creativity goes, there's Jack Kirby, and I would put Joe Sinnott up there, and then Steve Ditko. But it's Joe Sinnott. I mean, God, Jim Starlin created all the cosmic stuff like Thanos, Drax the Destroyer, Adam Warlock, and everything. He like had his own corner of the Marvel universe for like 6 or 7 years, where he just did all of this cosmic stuff, and I think he had a grand story to tell, and just jumped around from whatever comic he could to tell it in. So it didn't really even matter the superheroes, Thor, Iron Man, Silver Surfer, whatever. He just wanted to tell his story about Thanos and the Titans and stuff like that. And then Adam Warlock came along, and that's what he used as a good vehicle. So here we go. This is the Invincible Iron Man 55. These are the Blood Brothers. These are like minions of Thanos. And supposedly, like, each one alone is powerful enough to defeat Iron Man. And then, of course, together. If you see an Invincible, I think the, what are they called? The Marauder Twins? I think they're based on the Blood Brothers. So let's take a look inside. Let's say Joe Sinnott is one of the original. Him and Jack Kirby created Captain America. So he's one of the original comic book creators. Jim Starlin is like a second generation. So, hey, muscles and only 35. I need 250 skinny guys. Okay, I'm not going to ask why. You could use your imagination. And here we have a wonderful splash page. And a splash page, for those of you who don't know, I assume some people are going to see my videos for the first time because of Thanos and Drax. The splash page is usually the first page, not always, but it's one panel, and it's like a nice opening. It's a scene setter. See, we have a wonderful splash page of Drax the Destroyer. Hear me now, Iron Man. I am Drax the Destroyer. I bring you a message from across the continent. A message of fear and dread. Heed me, beware. So he's using some sort of telepathic power. And to be honest, I didn't realize he had telepathic powers, because I think either the machines had given it to him, or it's just this one-shot thing. I don't know. But here, we have plots, pencils, and character concepts by Jim Starlin. So he came up with the story idea and the pencils. And I think he's doing inks is Mike Esposito, aided by Mike Frederick. So Mike Frederick is actually doing the script. The letter is John Constanza, and editor Roy Thomas. And let's take a look at the year. This is February 1973. February being the month that you return the comic for credit, not the month that it came out. It came out a few months before. I forget if it's like 3 or 4 months beforehand. So that's why the dates are always wrong. That always confused me as a kid. I didn't know business. See, we have the Blood Brothers just beating the crap out of Iron Man. Just pounding away. And this is all Jim Starlin's artwork. Jim Starlin's artwork, to me, I always could remember it because it's always kind of boxy. The men are kind of squat and boxy. So here we have this guy. I love this guy lifted up a desk, and Iron Man just smashes through it, fighting, tag team wrestling, beating the crap out of him. And I love this. He's done leader. Iron Man is knocked out. So, they're not the Knockout Brothers. They're the Blood Brothers. But, just knock them out. Don't kill them or anything. Don't stomp on them. And I love the coloring. This comic is littered with coloring mistakes. Look at that. See the Blood Brothers colored green right over here? You'll see a few more. And then they go into their spaceship, and they take him. And I know it's a New Mexico hideout because in Marvel Feature, I think it's 9 or 10. It's The Thing, Iron Man versus the Blood Brothers. And it's like the next page of this comic. So from this comic, they go right to Marvel Feature. That's what I'm talking about, where Jim Starlin just had a story to tell, that he didn't care what comic it was in. So here, that's the first appearance of Thanos. And make no bones about it, Thanos is a direct ripoff of Darkseid. Darkseid being the New Gods villain that created by Jack Kirby. So even though Thanos made it to the movies first, Darkseid was first. And make no bones about it, Darkseid was direct inspiration for Darth Vader. So here we have Thanos is lecturing Drax, and look, Drax is eloquent. You know, he's talking. Also, I don't remember if they I don't remember if they do his full origin in this issue or not, but Drax is an Earthman, not a space alien like you see in the movies. Okay. So now they're doing a little bit of a recap of how he got Iron Man involved. You know, so the story started out in media res, already happening, and now this flashback is bringing us up to speed. So here's Tony Stark doing whatever he does, just some sort of financial executive meeting, and he gets a headache. I survived worse, whatever, you know. So now he calls the meeting off, suits up, and yes, there's the second coloring mistake. His faceplate's supposed to be yellow, not red. Okay, now we have, this is the bullpen bulletins. This is all Marvel House news, and this is Stan Lee's soapbox. Every month he would put a column out that he wrote, you know. So somebody would write him a letter like he's doing here, and he would respond to a letter, but that was all Stan Lee. Never finish high school, get a diploma. Okay, that's a cool picture of Iron Man. That's like my Iron Man. That's what I'm used to. You know, I had that Mego figure that looked like that. That to me is just the way Iron Man's supposed to look. Now here's Drax walking down the street. Look at the eyes. I love the eyelashes. It's so cool. So now he's talking about Titan. Now this wasn't a coloring mistake, but now they are retconning it into a coloring mistake. So look, he's talking about Titan. So Titan is the moon of Saturn, not a planet like it is in the movies. So there's Saturn, and then Titan has this crust, and inside it's a hidden city below the surface. And the city's like a paradise, and it's run by this computer called Isaac. And these are the Titans. And notice that they're all purple, just like Thanos. But later on, they decided that they want Thanos to be an outsider, to be different. So they kept Thanos as purple, and they colored the rest of these normal. But originally, when Jim Starlin created this, the Titans were all purple. See, here we have Mentor. His arrows also goes by Star Fox, and then Thanos. And then you can see they're having a great rift. Thanos leaves, but you know. And I haven't seen the Eternals movie. I don't know if you've seen the Eternals movie. I think it's out now. Mentor is brothers with Zuras, the leader of the Eternals. I think he's not in the Eternals movie, but Zuras would be Thena, Angelina Jolie's father. They had an argument, and he left Earth and founded like a civilization on Titan, and he took his. Well, I think they were all born on Titan. So these are the Titanian Eternals. Okay, and here we have, look, you see they're all purple. There's purple ones. He took some of them with him, and these are just an assortment of Thanos's people. And who's this? I don't even know who that is. Father. Okay, yeah, this is Mentor sending his mental projection, and you know, judging and fighting and whatever. The Adventures of Corgi Boy. It's like the second time I've seen that ad. I don't know what it is. So, I gotta go back, but I don't want to damage these pages. Okay. Okay, so he's creating Drax, and this gets retconned. The ground trembled, and with galactic awe, so a Mentor is just creating Drax out of the earth. Who was I? Drax the Destroyer. It was a mission of destruction, of annihilation. So Drax Destroyer, in his original appearance, that's interesting. I completely forgot all about that. It's been years since I read this. So Drax is just created whole cloth, and then they retcon that he was created from Arthur Douglas later on. And then, of course, the movies retconned him that he was a space alien. So here he is fighting Thanos. Look at him. He's all slender and everything. And now they're battling. And kaboom, Thanos. And they keep Thanos in shadows because the next issue, they actually reveal him. So this is his first appearance, but he doesn't really get a full shot. So here's Drax talking about the menace of Thanos, that he's coming. And then it brings you up to speed with the Battle of the Blood Brothers. And now we have the Terrific 10, which is I don't know how old you are, anybody who's watching this, but back when I was a kid, you had cartoons from 3 to 5 after school, and then you had cartoons on Saturday morning. Saturday morning cartoons were a big deal. So you'd wake up early and watch Saturday morning. This is the Pink Panther, Underdog, that was wonderful. The Jetsons, I loved. The Hound Cats, I have no recollection of. The Roman Holidays, I have no idea about that. The Barkleys, which was a goof on All in the Family. That's Edith Bunker, Archie Bunker. C-Lab 2020, I've never seen. Run Around, I don't know what that is. Around the World 8 Days, never saw it. Talking with the Giant, and that's the Terrific 10. There you go. Some of them you've seen. So here we have the Titan Eternals mentor again. Again, they were supposed to be purple, but then they changed it. So here he is fighting the Blood Brothers after he gets this mental message from Drax, when I guess it reinvigorates him, and then he frees Drax, but he gets zatted. What's going on? He stamps on him, and ta-da! There's the big reveal. We see Thanos for the first time, and I guess he's not wearing pants. He's just wearing a little zooty, whatever you call that, banana hammock. Look at that. That's Thanos, and I forget who it was, but one of the editors told Jim to make Thanos bigger and make him more of a menace to look at and behold. And I think they did the right choice. So here, Isaac is the computer. Isaac is the computer that made Drax, not Mentor. Mentor wasn't the bald one. I'm sorry, I made a mistake there. That's Isaac. Isaac is the living AI that runs the planet, and it is super powerful in its own right. And later on, it becomes a supervillain in itself, because that's what all AIs end up doing. So here, Holy Toledo, Barum, and that he frees Drax, and now Drax is going to fight the Blood Brothers. So now he's taking on one, Drax is taking on the other. Now it's kind of an even fight. Let's take a look at the Socket to Shellhead, is their letters page. And I told you about the origins of the letters pages. Letters pages, in order to have a comic book qualify as a magazine, so it could get a cheaper magazine subscription rate, you had to have at least 2 pages of text. So in order to qualify that, they used to write these really bad, poorly written short stories, and then later on somebody said, just publish letters, and it was a lot less work and easier to do. And to me, it was more fun. It created like a community, like a little, you belong to somebody. You'd see a letters page, you write to somebody, and a couple issues later, they write back. This was way before message boards, stuff like that. I had a few letters published, but nothing big. Douglas Bruce, Laura Hadsell, see, another woman. There's always a woman. I'm sure they went out of their way to find one woman to publish, but there's always been girls into comic books. Don't let anybody ever tell you otherwise. Who else wants a He-Man body? Maybe there's 250 boys, skinny boys. There you go. Oh wow, they put a picture of me in here. Oh, I didn't know they published. I got published back then. You have killed for Thanos villain. Are you ready to die for him? You talk too much. And now he hits it. I thought it was a golf club, but it's not. And he's just blasting him away. Kroom, Iron Man's fighting. Not the best story, A couple of pages of exposition, a little info dump, and then the rest of this comic is just fisticuffs, which, as far as I'm concerned, that's fine. So here we have Slender Thanos, just checking him out, and Drax just blasts him. Iron Man, look at that, smashes him, and his head breaks. Like, what the? And it was just a robot. Ta-da! Very first appearance of Thanos, and it's not even Thanos, it's a robot. So, Badoom, the robot explodes. Iron Man does this cool jump out of the way. What's going on? They shake hands, they're friends, and he flies away. And just a term for Rasputin. I've got to rest my transistors a while. And literally and then there we end. And then literally the next page should be that Marvel Features, which is really the first appearance of a Marvel 2-in-1, the Thing team-up comic. And then it's the Thing and Iron Man finishing the battle with the Blood Brothers. So okay. All right. Concept-wise, this comic was great. It introduced the concept of Thanos. It introduced the concept of the Titanian Eternals, although they were not Eternals at this point. That became later. The Eternals weren't even in comics yet. So so Jack Kirby at this point was working for DC. It introduced the Blood Brothers. It introduced this whole Cosmic Odyssey stuff that really took over Marvel for a long time. And took over the MCU. It all came from here. What an influential comic. As far story wise, it was just Drax telepathically giving some information to Iron Man, and then Iron Man and Drax fighting two B-list supervillains for the whole comic. Big deal. But it is an important comic. It's a big deal in the grand scheme of things. And as a kid, I love this. I didn't know how big of a deal it was. I literally just had this in my box for decades. Not even thinking about it until I was just looking up prices of comics, and I was like, oh, well, I wonder what the first appearance of. Oh, okay, all right. Let me take this out, and that's how I do comics on this channel. I'll something will strike my fancy, and I'll showcase it. So there you go. This is the Invincible Iron Man 55, the first appearance of not only Drax the Destroyer, who you see he was created whole cloth by Isaac. But then later on, they said that Isaac used the dead body, or the freshly dead body, or nearly dead body, or comatose body, whatever. I forget the actual state of the body of Arthur Douglas, an Earthman who was killed in a car accident, to create Drax the Destroyer. And there you go. Drax the Destroyer, Thanos, Iron Man 55. Thanks a lot, and I appreciate that you took your time to watch my videos. I love it. Thank you. Bye-bye.